soft skills rule. They really do. Let's talk about the aspect of what the current job market is like. I went to a conference recently and they said in 10 years, 44% of all the jobs in San Bernardino County, California, which is actually geographically one of the physically largest counties in the United States and actually the world, they said 44% of those jobs will be severely impacted or gone within 10 years. That's a lot of jobs. And surprisingly, the bulk of them are in IT because we're going to see AI gobble up jobs left and right. You too may be fired because a chatbot took your job. Well, I'm unemployed over here and I'm applying for this job. Well, why'd you lose your last one? A chatbot beat me out for it. What? Oh my gosh, that's embarrassing. We're going to see a lot of jobs having that happen. We'll never admit that a chatbot beat us out for a job, except for the fact we're going to see all kinds of changes happening in the workplace. But to future-proof occupations or you within the world of employment, it requires communication, the ability to manage people, being creative, and having specialized knowledge. We have an unprecedented expansion of remote work and a whole accelerated digital transformation of the workplace. The pandemic brought a lot of misery to an awful lot of people across the country, but it did force us into more of a remote work setting and also remote business setting as well, where people are more comfortable now doing work long range and on Zoom and other types of medium than we've had ever before in the history of planet Earth. But the problem that you pay for this is we're always hyper-connected. We're always turned on, and communication skills, even at 1 or 2 o'clock in the morning, are really difficult, and you have to have a good grasp on them. Superior communication makes you marketable. On a recent survey of job postings, written oral communication ranked first as the most deserved attributes. That's ahead of management, leadership, problem solving, teamwork. And by the way, management, leadership, problem solving, teamwork don't work if you can't communicate. This is a big deal. So you need to learn how to communicate effectively. That really is the focal point of this class. When I teach, this is my methodology. I want to make certain that you can sit down and pass any type of academic qualifications to pass this class in the best world with an A or a B. But the other part is I want to make certain that the class delivers something to you past the timeline of this class into the workplace that you can use on a regular basis. And this is one of them. Learning that soft skills are critical for you in your career pathway is a big, big deal. You may own your business, but may not be able to have anybody work for you because you don't know how to communicate with them. Well, yeah, that's a necessary part of owning the business. It's a necessary part of elevating yourself long-term and having more money in your career if you're going to pursue working for somebody else on top of that. So communication is a big, giant aspect, and that social skills, they really matter. The average employee spends 12 hours a week answering emails at the office and 5 more from home, 17 hours a week. That's almost half of a regular work week just communicating on emails, office, on your phone, on your cell phone, texting, instant messaging, being on social media, responding. Office workers write reports, memos, presentations, instant messages, social media posts, and more. You spend a lot of time in communication. 21st century skills, oral, written communication, teamwork. Sometimes the teamwork isn't just with your next door neighbor in the next cubicle. Sometimes it's with your next door neighbor that's in Germany or India or China or who knows where on planet Earth in a different time zone with a different culture, with a different language, and everybody's struggling, thinking in one language, communicating in another. Yes, that's a real world out there, and it could be your world. But if you pay attention to some of the things we learn here, you're going to be able to have the soft skills that'll matter not only here, but also there. It's a big deal. Communication and social skills, they matter because jobs rely heavily on these transferable skills, such as communication, which really will be a major part of all jobs in the future. Recruiters, they scrutinize your online presence. And by the way, they have a legal right to check your social media posts. I make certain I go back before I hit the job market real heavily and make certain that all my social media is appropriate for a future employer. They're not going to hire candidates that write poorly or post inappropriate content. Of 142,000 job advertisements in a recent survey, the most requested skill by order, oral communication. Yes, did you hear the oral communication part? No, it's not just for a professor, it's for anybody looking for a job. Written communication, collaboration, being able to work with other people and problem solving. Remote workers in IT, a lot of them, they have to possess people skills to get along with somebody as they're trying to walk them through somebody with a frustrating problem on their computer remotely. It's hard work, but those that really do well in it really help a lot of people. Half of employers say new hires, they're simply not workplace ready. They don't have critical thinking skills or reasoning skills. Students were trained but not equipped for advancement. So regardless, you're going to be sending an awful lot of digital messages in your career or your business, whichever one that you go into. Soft skills, people skills, emotional intelligence, those are all powerful social skills that employers expect and actively seek out. It's a big deal. The interpersonal professional skills include communication, good logical reasoning that you can explain, critical thinking, not just accepting something, but diving deep into it, being able to study a topic and communicate effectively about it, teamwork and management skills. There's always that aspect of a professional image that really makes a real difference for you to help in your dreams. Economic benefits of a college education. Half of adults today expressed confidence in higher education and the other half didn't. Okay, that's a problem. College graduates, though, still earn more, they're less unemployed, and they can choose a wider variety of career options. Graduates with a bachelor's degree earn 3 times as much as those with less than a high school education and are more than 3 times less likely to be unemployed. It really helps you long term. Smartphone apps, literally, they help us or make us share in this sharing economy. You think about the economic model that we have, there's an awful lot of things happening on this critter we call the cell phone and the smartphone. And we sit down there and we have a lot of communication happening. And we're trying to sit down there with our fingers. And the key is only 1/4 the size of the tip of our finger. You got to hit the right buttons and then send something super quick. And if you don't check it, you're sending out 15 different typos on the thing, and then you got your smartphone correcting everything you say, and all of a sudden you say something ridiculous, and looking at you saying, huh? I don't know about you, this happened to me more than once, and happens to all of us, and then we blame our cell phone for poor communication, except for the fact that it's coming from you, not from your cell phone, that communication. You got to check and double check. Businesses are unlikely to thrive without digital media. 66% of US employees work from home at least part-time. It's easy to sit there and get into this casual habit of doing things just okay. They should be doing things really well in the aspect of what the quality is. If you're going to be working from home, okay, and the boss is watching remotely, sometimes it's easy to ignore the people that are not there and pay more attention to the ones that are there. If you're going to work from home, you better have high quality work and learn how to communicate to that boss, or you may get left behind on the promotion ladder. US workers, we have a lot long hours without extra compensation. And if you look at, we'll look at this later on, at the different vacation levels from around planet Earth, we really get less vacation than other countries do. Yeah, so we have to pay attention to that. Digital overload is a major stressor. So collaboration in teams is a big part. A lot of things we have now are cross-functional teams, and you may have a team here and be on another team at the same time on a totally different topic because of the changeability in our gig economy. A gig economy is when you have a job for X number of months instead of having a career. Over here, you work this project and boom, you're gone, you work another project. It's pretty common now in a workplace to sit down there and have a gig company sitting there bouncing from job to job as you go through, or you just jumping from job to job. The baby boomers, okay, they were said to have 8 to 12 jobs by age 40. They're saying now that Gen Z and even millennials, they're going to have anywhere from 16 to 24 jobs by the age of 40. It's a big deal that job hopping, that you're ready for it. So every year and a half, you're ready to be able to move if that's necessary. But that whole aspect of communicating on teams and being successful on teams is a big deal because a lot of times people want to have a flat organization. We'll go for here, we'll compress it, we'll wipe out 5 layers of management. Duh, what happens? You have to have better communication, and the people at the very bottom had to be superb communicators, and all the managers, instead of having 5 to 8 people report to them, now have 20 to 25 people reporting to them. What they say needs to be clear to all those people, and sometimes you don't have time to talk to each one individually, like maybe you want to. Your frontline employees need to be able to make decisions, and on top of that, you have global competition and a cultural diversity. Now, by the way, diversity is really misused an awful lot. People think diversity really is about, well, let's make sure we have everybody included by race and ethnicity. You know what? Here's a reality. It's called business. Business really requires you to be diverse in your thinking, to sit down there and reach markets. It needs to go hand in hand with a profitable company. That really is how I approach it. The aspect of diversity really helps you as a business player to sit down and be able to reach more markets quickly and make more money in the process. So global markets, you need to be able to handle global markets, dealing with somebody over in France and also having somebody over here in a different part of the world at the same time, making certain you can interact with people from different cultures and that you get them on board with your concept and you listen to them and also listen to them as well. Communication is about other cultures, developing the skills, including sensitivity, flexibility, patience, and tolerance to make sure you capture everything you can with your soft skills to be successful and make them successful at the same time. Ethics, there's so many different companies that have eroded the trust on the ethics. And I'm an ethical company, and it turns around, they have to fire the CEO because of this, fire this person because of this. They hit the headlines. And a lot of times ethics is put on the back burner a lot of times, and people just talk, but it's not practice. You need to make a decision what you're going to be in the workplace. Are you going to be an ethical person or not? That's your choice. And it doesn't matter. You can always fill out a test in a class like this and everything else. But the reality is your word your bond? When you tell somebody, I'm going to do something, are you going to do it? That's part of communications too. A lot of us prefer sustainable and ethical brands. Our world is always hyper-connected. We're always on, and communication skills are noticed. If you turn off your phone and your boss texts you on Saturday morning and you don't get back till the following Monday, your boss is going to notice that and maybe need an answer right away. And if a crisis happens and you don't respond, they may turn to somebody else, and also that somebody else may take a job you were hoping to get someday. Yeah, pay attention to this. Okay, you need to nurture and safeguard your brand online and off as well. Soft skills rule. Workplace and the home, they're connecting, like it or not. Stress is the norm. The gig economy is alive and well, and customer service decline. But if you have the soft skills we're talking about over here, that's going to give you an edge in today's marketplace and in today's world of business. Soft skills rule. Take care.